This video isn't for everyone. It contains strong language that might be uncomfortable for some viewers. Picture this, a lone tiger cub, small, vulnerable, staring into the vast jungle. One day, it must rule. But how? Tigers don't inherit their kingdom, they fight for it. From the moment they leave their mother's side, they face hunger, enemies, and the brutal reality of survival. A cub must learn to hunt, defend its territory, and endure battles that test its very existence. Many don't make it. The few that do, they become kings. In the wild, only the strongest tigers claim dominance. The infamous Bengal tiger, known for its unmatched power, doesn't just rely on its claws and teeth. It masters patience, precision, and endurance. Take the legendary Makri, the queen of Ranthambore. She battled rival tigers, crocodiles, and even starvation, proving that true strength isn't about mere brute force, but resilience in the face of adversity. But here's the cruel reality. Those who fail don't get a second chance. The weak get torn apart. The jungle doesn't care about excuses. It only rewards those who rise. The path of the tiger, pain and power. Tigers are not born strong. They are made strong through relentless struggle. They don't grow by luck, but by fighting, learning, and surviving. Each failed hunt, each scar, each confrontation is a lesson that molds them into the apex predator. The jungle does not reward weakness, it devours it. A tiger that fails to claim its own territory is exiled. It either dies alone or is torn apart by stronger rivals. There is no mercy. There is no second place. There is only victory or death. But here's the truth. Tigers have their way. Humans are far more complicated. And if a tiger must fight to be king, how much more must a human do? The story of Saul and David, two paths, one throne. Saul and David, two men chosen by God, both started weak, both were lifted up as kings, but their endings, worlds apart. Saul, the king who lost everything. Saul was anointed as Israel's first king, yet he lacked trust in God. He let fear dictate his choices, disobeyed divine instructions, and ultimately crumbled under his own insecurity. He started strong in the eyes of men, but faltered in the eyes of God. Instead of leading with wisdom, he sought validation, disobeyed Samuel's commands, and eventually descended into paranoia and self-destruction. His reign ended in despair, his legacy in ruins, and his final moments. He died alone on his own sword, a tragic end for a man who was given everything but lacked faith. David, the king who endured. David, on the other hand, was a mere shepherd boy when he was chosen. But unlike Saul, he had unwavering faith. He faced lions, bears, and eventually Goliath, not with fear, but with the confidence that God was with him. He trained in solitude. He endured betrayal. He held steadfast to his calling. Even when Saul hunted him, even when he was outnumbered, he never abandoned his faith. His consistency led to strength, and his obedience secured his throne for generations. The lesson? Faith alone is not enough. It must be backed by unwavering action. Saul believed, but he wavered. David believed, and he acted. And that made all the difference. Faith without works is dead, the testament of great men. Faith is not just a thought in your mind, it is the action in your hands. If your actions do not reflect your faith, if they do not manifest your goals, then nothing will come to pass. Worse still, you may even lose what you've built. Thomas Edison, faith and persistence. The man who brought light to the world through the invention of the light bulb failed over 1,000 times before succeeding. But his persistence was not just scientific, it was spiritual. He once said, "I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work." His belief in divine inspiration and relentless effort turned failure into success. Sir Isaac Newton, faith in divine order. One of the greatest scientists in history, Newton was a devout believer in God. He saw his discoveries in physics and mathematics as revelations of divine order. He stated, "Gravity explains the motions of the planets, but it cannot explain who sets the planets in motion." His work was driven not just by an intellect, but by an unshakable faith in a creator. Nikola Tesla, faith in divine vision. The genius whose innovations shaped the modern world attributed his discoveries to divine vision. He declared, "The gift of mental power comes from God, divine being, and if we concentrate our minds on that truth, we become in tune with this great power." Tesla did not merely work hard, he worked with faith. Elon Musk, faith in relentless action. The man building rockets, reshaping industries, and redefining the limits of human ambition doesn't just have a vision. He is relentless in his pursuit of it. His faith isn't blind belief. It's action, resilience, and refusal to accept failure. The world doesn't belong to those who hesitate. It belongs to those who take what they believe and turn it into reality. The hard truth: if you're not successful yet, it's because your faith is not strong enough. If you don't have what you want, it's because you haven't fought hard enough. What you believe determines what you build. So, if you want unshakable faith, who better to believe in than God? When His words in the Bible have been fulfilled time and time again, when His lessons do not fade, but only shine brighter through generations, why hesitate? A tiger doesn't question its nature, it lives it. A true believer doesn't just claim faith, they prove it. And if you refuse to act, if you hesitate, then understand this: someone else will take what could have been yours. Now, what about you?